Scarecrow Pete, written by Mark Kimball Moulton, illustrated by Karen Hillard Good. Hello, friend. One sunny summer afternoon, as I worked in my garden, I heard a voice say, "Hello, friend," and I said, "Beg your pardon?" I looked, but there was no one else among the squash and corn. I thought, perhaps I need a rest. I've worked since early morn. I took a sip of water from the jug I kept nearby, then wiped my hot and dusty cheek and sat down with a sigh. I cupped my hands behind my head and lay back on the ground, enjoying all of nature's peaceful, happy summer sounds. The bluebirds sweetly twittered, joined by humming bumblebees, while happy crickets chirped away, and somewhere beneath the peas, the brook that babbled by the field skipped cheerfully along, while tickling the mossy rocks with its refreshing song. "Oh, what a day," I murmured as I gazed up at the sky. "Why, yes, it is a perfect day," I heard someone reply. I jumped a mile, then spun around and searched the garden rows, but all I saw were vegetables and last year's old scarecrow. I peeked beneath the pumpkin leaves and combed the cauliflower. I poked around the cabbage patch and scored the green bean towers, but all I found were funny bugs and big, fat, hoppy toads, and one enormous centipede with 40 million toes. Come out, wherever you are," I pleaded loud and clear. "Please, please don't tease me anymore. I know that someone's here." "Why, golly, I'm not teasing you," the same voice answered me. "I'm just a little tied up here, but friendly as can be." "What do you mean you're all tied up? Does this mean you're too busy? Then why did you call out to me and make me think I'm dizzy?" "Oh, heavens, no, I'd never be too busy for a friend. I mean, I really am tied up. It's hard to move or bend." "You're kidding. Gee, what happened? Hey, just tell me where you are. I'll come and rescue you, my friend. You can't be very far." "I'm over here," I heard him say. "I'm standing in your garden." So once again I looked around and then asked, "Beg your pardon?" "There's no one here," I said to him. "I see that plain as day. Are you still fooling with me, sir? Where are you now? Which way?" Let me think. "Just walk straight through the Brussels sprouts, go past the salad greens, then take a left before the corn and turn right at the beans." I followed those directions to the place he said he'd be, but just as I suspected, there was no one there but me. I stood beneath our scarecrow. "I give up," I crossly said, when much to my surprise, I heard his voice right overhead. "You made it! Thanks for coming. Please, now won't you have a seat? I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Scarecrow Pete." What? A talking scarecrow? Boy, I've really flipped my lid. I've never heard of such a thing. Nope, no one ever did. I don't think that it's possible. Your head's a pillowcase. My mom stitched on those button eyes. I drew that happy face. "Why, yes, and let me thank you. I remember that fine day. And what a most attractive smile you gave me, by the way." "What? Oh, sure, I mean." "You're welcome. Glad you like it. I just drew it on with crayon. But really, who am I talking to? A scarecrow or a man?" "Well, let me ask you, does it matter? In the long run? In the end? As long as we are both content to be each other's friend?" "You're right," I said. "I guess it really doesn't. Not one bit." So I climbed on a bale of hay, deciding that I'd sit. "Now this is nice," said Scarecrow Pete. "A beautiful fine day, a brand new friend to talk to, and my belly full of hay." "A brand new friend? Do you have more?" I asked my Scarecrow Pete. "If you're always tied up here, how do you ever meet?" "That's easy. I imagine them. I meet friends near and far. I close my eyes and think of them. Then poof! Why, there they are." "I do the same to travel," he continued with a look. "Why, I can go almost anywhere by reading a good book." "A book?" I said. "Yuck, not for me. I read all day in school. It's summer now. Who wants to read? I think it's for old fools." I felt a little awkward then, and just a wee bit bad. I hadn't meant to make him feel insulted, hurt, or sad. I shifted on my hay bell, brushed some dust off my shoe, and admitted that I sometimes like to read a little too. "You do?" he cried. "Boy, that's just great." Say, would you read to me? There are several books to choose from in the suitcase at my knee. That's when I saw the leather case propped up against his pole with straps and tarnished buckles and one tiny little hole. I remembered Mom had put it there. She said it had a look, but it kept blowing over, so she filled it with old books. Frankly, Dad and I had thought it looked a little strange, but Mom said even scarecrows like to travel for a change. So I hopped down to open it, still feeling like a fool, 'cause I'd agreed to read a book in summer out of school. The case smelled slightly musty, but the books inside were dry. I looked at Pete and thought I saw a sparkle in his eye. Zoe, what a treasure! Now, what book will you read first? This is so exciting that I'm just about to burst. Though unconvinced, I picked a book, an epic classic story about a great white whale and one man's vain attempt at glory. I brushed it off, opened it, turned past the title page, then made a face resembling a wise old learned sage. Call me Ishmael, I said as I began to read the tale, and several chapters later, I was fighting that white whale. Well, what I really mean is that I felt like I was there, sailing on that whaling ship with salt spray in my hair. I'd never felt like this before, but that was all it took. If reading made me feel this way, I knew that I was hooked. We finished Moby Dick and then discussed it in detail, concluding that our sympathies lay with the poor white whale. I grabbed another book from Pete's old battered leather case, began to read, and soon we landed in another place. We found ourselves upon the shore of magic Neverland, with friends named Wendy, Michael, John, and one named Peter Pan. We rescued Tiger Lily and crossed swords with Captain Hook, and we agreed that this would always be a favorite book. That summer flew by quickly as we read our books each day, with Pete upon his wooden pole, me on that bale of hay. We cried with Laura Ingalls in her house upon the prairie, and found a secret garden with a little girl named Mary. We met a girl from Kansas, and 3 friends I think you'll know, the Lion and the Tin Man, and Pete's favorite, the Scarecrow. We followed a white rabbit with a pocket watch and fob, and had a conversation with a snowman named just Bob. We swung on vines with Tarzan, and we rafted with Huck Finn, and rode the east wind as it carried Mary Poppins in. And after every story, every book that we'd devour, we'd sit back with each other, and we'd laugh and chat for hours. Sometimes we both agreed on what the story was about. Other times we disagreed. Sometimes we were in doubt. And sometimes we would just enjoy the book for what it was, a simple little story written only just because. But all the time we both enjoyed each day we spent together, reading in our garden in the warm and sunny weather. I never will forget those days, that summer long ago, for that was when I realized how much books can help you grow. They teach, enchant, and captivate, enlighten, and cajole. They inspire imagination, and they touch your very soul. Pete traveled on his merry way, late autumn of that year, to pursue his dream of being a library volunteer. It was always his ambition to encourage folks to read, for it's the first step that it takes for someone to succeed. We write each other every week. We're pen pals now, you see, and that's almost as good as having my friend here with me. I have so much to thank him for, my friend, my Scarecrow Pete. Without his cheerful wisdom, my life would not be complete. Pete told me, you can do most anything, meet anyone you please, travel anywhere you like, and do it all with ease. Just find a place that's comfortable, a nice, warm, cozy nook, and lose yourself among the pages of a favorite book. The end.